Scream 3 Ghostface is back, baby. But this time, Hollywood is the hunting ground. Scream 3 takes the meta-horror franchise to the next level. More twists, more blood, and way more meta-commentary. Let's dive into this 2000 slasher sequel that brought the trilogy to a chaotic, scream-worthy finale. Before we dive into Scream 3, let's catch up. The Scream franchise, directed by Wes Craven and written by Kevin Williamson, revitalized the slasher genre. She brings a videotape made by Randy, Sidney's friend, who was murdered. Recording his posthumous warnings to them that the rules in a horror film do not apply to anyone in the third movie of a trilogy, and that any one of them, including Sidney, could possibly die. She is attacked by Ghostface later in a movie set, so the police must keep her in their station. But surprise, surprise, Ghostface crashes the set, targeting the cast and crew. This time, the killer's motives tie into the dark secrets of Sidney's mother, Maureen Prescott. Our favorite trio is back. Sidney Neve Campbell is in hiding. Dewey David Arquette is working as a consultant on Stab 3, and Gail Courtney Cox is still chasing headlines. But this time, the killer is deadlier, using a voice changer that mimics anyone's voice. Creepy, right? The movie introduces us to Roman Bridger, the director of Stab 3, whose, spoiler alert, is Ghostface. And here's the kicker. He's Sidney's half-brother, seeking revenge for Maureen, abandoning him. Talk about family drama. Scream 3 leans heavily into Hollywood's dark underbelly. It critiques the industry's exploitation of women and the pressures of fame. Through Maureen's backstory, we see how secrets, power, and corruption can haunt generations. Sure, it's a slasher, but it's also saying something bigger. Did you know Scream 3 was almost an entirely different movie? The original script had multiple killers, but after Columbine, the studio toned down the violence. Oh, and Jay and Silent Bob make a cameo, because why not? While Sidney and her friends visit the Hollywood set of Stab 3, the third film based on the Woodsboro murders, another Ghostface killer rises to terrorize them. There is currently a movie filming and a murderer on the run. Murders catch on a reporter, a retired cop, and an up-and-comer in the filming set of a movie based upon the story of their life. They soon realize it is part of a trilogy, and that in any given trilogy, anything goes. Cotton Weary, now a popular host of a talk show, is called by the new Ghostface, asking where Sidney Prescott is. After Cotton denies knowing what happened to her, Ghostface starts breaking into his apartment, attacking his girlfriend, Christine. Cotton runs home. It's only when he arrives does Ghostface murder Christine. Then Cotton. Detective Mark Kincaid calls Gail Weathers to discuss the new murders. And she decides to travel to Hollywood, where she finds Dewey Riley working as an advisor for the set of Stab 3, the third movie in the series based on the Ghostface murders. Ghostface kills Stab 3 actress Sarah Darling, and this causes the production of the film to come to a halt. The remaining cast, with Dewey and Gail, all gather at the home of Jennifer Jolie. It's the actress who plays Gail in Stab 3. Ghostface murders her bodyguard and sets off an explosion using a gas leak, killing actor Tom Prince. Sidney is living in seclusion as a crisis counselor for an abused women's hotline, fearing another killer may strike. Having discovered Sidney's location, the killer starts to torment her over the phone with a voice changer, impersonating her dead mother, Maureen Prescott, compelling Sidney to leave her hiding place and head to Hollywood. Martha Meeks comes to Sidney and the others. She brings a videotape made by Randy, Sidney's friend who was murdered, recording his posthumous warnings to them that the rules in a horror film do not apply to anyone in the third movie of a trilogy, and that any one of them, including Sidney, could possibly die. She is attacked by Ghostface later in a movie set, so the police must keep her in their station. Dewey, Gail, Jennifer, and the remaining cast, Angelina and Tyson, attend a birthday party for Stab 3's director, Roman Bridger. After Gail discovers Roman's body in the basement, Ghostface attacks the group, killing Angelina, Tyson, and Jennifer. The killer then orders Sidney to the mansion to save Gail and Dewey. When Sidney arrives, Ghostface lures her inside to where Gale and Dewey are bound and gagged. As Sidney is releasing them, Ghostface emerges, but Sidney manages to gain the upper hand with a secret gun that she had to fight him off with. Kincaid shows up but is knocked unconscious by Ghostface. Sidney escapes and hides in a secret screening room where she is found by Ghostface, who identifies himself as Roman, who had faked his death and survived the shooting from being shot by wearing a bulletproof vest. Roman confesses that he is the half-brother of Sidney, produced by their mother Maureen when she was an actress in Hollywood. 4 years ago, he had also attempted to reunite with her, but she rejected him by saying that he was nothing but the product of rape. Bitter over the rejection, Roman started stalking her, filming all the men she philandered with and showing Billy Loomis the footage of Billy's father with Maureen, which motivated Billy and Stu McCard to kill her, thus setting off the string of murders in Sidney's hometown and at her college. When he found out how much fame Sidney had gained because of those incidents, Roman lost his temper and lured Sidney out of hiding with the intent to kill her and then blame her for the murders. After Roman murders stab producer John Milton, whom he accuses of being his biological father and one of their mother's rapists, Sidney angrily condemns him and correctly justifies his motives are by his own decisions, provoking an angry Roman to fight with Sidney. That fight is ended when Roman shoots Sidney in the chest. But Sidney manages to survive the shot and stabs Roman several times, revealing to him that she too wore a bulletproof vest. As Dewey and Gale arrive, a screaming Roman suddenly crazily surfaces with a knife. Sidney yells to Dewey to shoot Roman in the head, which Dewey does, killing him at last. Later that evening, at Sidney's house, Dewey asks Gale to marry him. She accepts. Sidney comes home from a walk and leaves her gates open, which she had shown to be alarmed earlier. She goes inside her house and is invited by Dewey, Gale, and Kincaid to watch a movie. As she goes to join the others, her front door blows open behind her, but she walks away, leaving it as is. Bitter over the rejection, Roman started stalking her, filming all the men she philandered with and showing Billy Loomis the footage of Billy's father with Maureen, which motivated Billy and Stu McCard to kill her, thus setting off the string of murders in Sidney's hometown and at her college.